What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode of Ludus, we are looking at Little Red Riding Hood and Gambler. I know her name's not Little Red Riding Hood, but come on, we all know it is. Little Red Cap. That's who we're looking at today. Now, these are my Rune Hunt requirement cards for this week. First and foremost, what I want to do is, before I get into any of this information I'm about to give to you guys today, I want to personally thank the Ludus developers for their update. In their update, they've added Ludus TV, which is a direct link to our Ludus community content creators for YouTube or for videos. And if you can tell, your boys is right here. 3 ones down because, well, I haven't put anything in there. But there are other Ludus creators, so that we can go and check them out. The Ludus development team knows that we put effort into our videos, so they put effort into making sure everybody who plays this game can possibly see our videos. And with that, I greatly appreciate you guys. This is an amazing gift for the content creators. And I can't speak for any of the other ones, but I can speak for myself. And the fact that you guys are putting this much effort into the game, I'm going to put effort into my videos for you guys as well. So that's one part of the update. Now, the other part of the update, you can go on the Discord server and find out all the information there. But we did get new perks. So we already know Brewmaster's Punch Bowl is older. I haven't unlocked that yet. There's 2 new perks that I believe are going to be broken. Deathly Missile for Lich is 1. And it reads, when an enemy dies, this deals 10% of hero's damage to a random enemy. That is when an enemy dies. It doesn't care what tier it is. If it dies, it's going to do damage outwards. So if you combine this with Landmine, Deadly Swamp, and Eldritch Horror, you're basically allowing for frontline disruption. You're basically setting yourself up for a big landmine. You're setting yourself up for a lot of damage going outwards, which is what you want in this current meta, where in more often than not, you're wanting to outspeed your opponent. By outspeeding your opponent is out DPSing your opponent. By out DPSing your opponent, you want Deathly Missile on here. I think this is going to be one of those requirements. I really and truly do. I think that if you really want to get freaking evil with it, you go and take Lich to level 13, which I'm currently doing. You go and put Deathly Missile on him, high explosives, and Unity. Make sure that the Unity, or you're surrounded by omnifactional astral heroes with Lich and Unity, and just let the sparks fly, because it happens the entire round. That's going to be really, really good. I'm looking forward to working this up. Currently, I'm working up the other one I'm most excited for. Moera. Moera got Day of the Dead. And, oh, God, I'm so excited for this. I've got 3 more levels I need to throw on this thing before I go and try and take it to level 20. I messed up. I got way too excited. I need to reel it back in. Deathly Missile. Let's touch back on this one. I'm way too excited about Moera. So, at level 20, each Deathly Missile increases the hero's damage by 1% till the end of the round. Not a whole big jump, but we do know from playing with Lich, from his previous adaptation to his current one, that's what these are. He used to be 1%, now he's at 2%, but each Deathly Missile increases the hero's damage by 1% till the end of the round. Okay, now I read this wrong. I read that wrong. I just woke up, man. I haven't had caffeine yet. I need to pump this out before I have to go to work. So, basically what's going to happen, each time a Deathly Missile goes off, you're increasing the hero's damage by 1%. At level 60, bonus damage is increased to 2% per Deathly Missile. So, if there's 10 tier 1s on the opposing side, you wipe out 9 of them with Landmine, you've already increased your damage by 20%. That is insane. And then at level 100, Deathly Missile also applies Fear for 1 second. That is solid too. I see that being like Sharknado, with max 100 giving a stun when they're caught inside the vortex. I see that being the same thing except for fear, so they're going to be running around. So what you could do, actually, is you could set up a Lich with Deathly Missile, or have a Sharknado on somebody. I would say put Deathly Missile, Unity, and High Explosives on Lich. Have PQs or Pirate Queen's Sharknado at max level on something. You're basically fearing and stunning the entire board the entire time. The only ones that are exception to that rule are going to be something that has max level lightning reflexes or Monkey King. Something to look forward to. I think this is going to shift the meta quite a bit. I think this is going to be a problem. Main reason I say that, I dealt with it in Grand Tournament last night. It will be a problem. If it is not handled, if the card that it is on is not handled immediately, it is going to be an issue. Believe that. Okay. Day of the Dead. Now we're back where I wanted to be at from the get-go. Moera was my first card to level 15. If you've been a subscriber of this channel and watched my videos, you know how much I love Moera. She is one of the cornerstones to a lot of my decks. Her and Evil Eye and Iron Tony, that's my main shell. I absolutely love Moera, and I think that she is one of the most broken cards in the game, because if you do not take care of her, if the opponent has 2 or more Super Moeras, you don't take care of them, they will take care of you by mobbing you. Now it's only going to get better. So the initial deal of Day of the Dead is once per 5 seconds when an enemy hero dies, summon a skeleton in their place. The skeleton has 13% HP and deals 13% of hero's damage. So you do want to put this on a Moera. You want to put it on an Evil Eye. You want to put it on something that has super high damage output. Super high damage output or health, depending on how you want to rock this. You could put it, technically, you could do it on like a Iron Tony if you want a beefy skeleton to add a little bit of an extra tank kind of feel to it. Or you could throw it on something that has super high damage, such as Evil Eye or Moera, or even Kitsune if you really want to. So that way you have an extra attacker that's doing the most damage. At level 20, each skeleton on the battlefield increases the hero's damage by 20%. Yet another reason why you should put it on something that is an attacker, or you could do an Iron Tony. At level 60, bonus damage is increased to 40%. At level 100, destroyed skeletons apply fear to nearby enemies for 3 seconds. So, the once per 5 seconds is kind of a bummer, but it is completely understandable. If this read like Deathly Missiles does, then you would have skeletons all over the board constantly. So every 5 seconds does make sure that it is present. You see the damage that it's doing and everything, but it's not overwhelming your opponent to where it's not fun for everybody to play the game. But at level 100, that's when it's going to get really, really disgusting. Combining this with Deathly Missiles is going to be a problem. That all said, I do believe that Day of the Dead and Deathly Missiles are going to become part of the meta. Once they are tinkered with a little bit more, once people really find what cards they fit on best, these are going to be a problem. These are going to be part of the meta, so keep your eyes out for these. If you don't have, or if you haven't unlocked these yet, highly recommend that you do so. Now let's look at the other ones. Now, Nightmare I'm not too excited about. Shadow Step is his perk. At the start of each round, the hero teleports to a square across the enemy lines, symmetrical to their own, and gains 100 energy. That's pretty cool. At level 20, after teleporting, it takes 10% less damage during the first 5 seconds. At level 60, incoming damage is reduced by 30%. And at level 100, teleporting switches places with the enemy at the target square and stuns them for 3 seconds. The level 100 is not bad. The problem I have with this is that people are putting this on. I've seen this. I'm not going to do it myself, but I've seen people put Shadow Step on like an Aqua. I saw one that had it on Aqua. I saw another one that had it on, I can't even think of who it is right now. Either way, they were squishy. What wound up happening is they jumped to my backline and got basically overran by Moera and Evil Eye right at that moment. Because the second they crossed over and onto my side, my backline went, nope, turned around, annihilated them, then went back into their merry way and started looking at everybody else. The taking 10% less damage or even the incoming damage reduction to 30%, really, you need to combine this. I would say if you're going to run this and you're going to run it efficiently, put this on Griffin. So that way Griffin can jump to the back line. And if you have Onslaught at max level or even at level 80, your dodging chance increased. If you have Mako or Mako's Bulwark at level 80 or level 100, that's where it's going to be the most beneficial, having the biggest shield. Another thing you could do is put, this is all on Griffin, you could do Shadow Step Onslaught and then Lightning Reactor. Have it to where Griffin jumps to the back line, Lightning Reactor triggers, pops everything in the back line to kind of, I guess like a billiards ball or cue. Go and shatter up all the balls and everything. You're going to knock everything to the side. You're going to stun everything on the back line, giving yourself a little bit more chance. I think this will play a role, but I think it needs to be on very specific cards. I don't think this is going to be meta, but I think it is going to be one of those tricks someone throws into their deck just to mess with people. But again, I stick with this being either put Shadow Step on Griffin or put it on Monkey King. One or the other. If you want to throw it on Nightmare because it is his perk, then by all means do so. But I just think that Nightmare is going to die a lot quicker than Monkey King or Griffin. I think with Monkey King or Griffin, you're going to have a better result of using this particular perk than anything else. But again, this is only day 2 of having these perks. So who's to say that something else may take up those slots and actually make this viable. And then we have Hunter's Ruse. This is Buddy's perk. Buddy actually got a pretty decent perk, actually, in my opinion. At the start of each round, summons a Scape Dog with 50% HP in front of the hero. So with it being a hexagon, you could easily throw this on an Evil Eye. You can throw this on Little Red Cap. You can throw this on basically any mid to long range card that has a hexagon on it that doesn't move. They need to be on part of the entire board. That's the big thing. Because if you go and set the Scape Dog in front of something that moves, you're only hindering the card that it is on. Let's put it that way. If you go and throw it onto something that moves, basically it's going to go right in front of it. So they have to move around that, which is not buying or is not helping you at all. So put this on something that's going to be on the front line because of the fact that at level 20, once per 3 seconds, Scape Dog applies Taunted in a small area for 5 seconds. So it will become the focus. So this will help out cards like Buddy and Evil Eye who don't move at all and get surrounded. This will be able to taunt the things that are surrounding them and help out longevity-wise for your card. At level 60, Taunted Radius is increased. At level 100, a destroyed Scape Dog stuns enemies in the large area for 3 seconds. Level 100 is where it becomes far more interesting because of that 3-second stun. This could potentially shift a game from you losing to you winning in the last couple of seconds. So, possibility that this will work out very, very well. I'm very optimistic about these 4 perks. I think that they are going to help shift the meta quite a bit. I think they're going to make people use perks that they don't normally use, such as Ricochet or Recoil. I think Ricochet and Recoil will see a rise if Scapegoat and Shadow Step actually become more, I guess, more familiar with everybody else, I guess is one way I want to put that. Words are difficult in the morning when you haven't had caffeine. Alright, so those are the new perks, and that is the new system with Ludus TV. Again, if you want to see the rest of the updates, I highly recommend you check out the Ludus Discord server. There's a lot of great people there who talk about the game. The developers are always present in the Discord server, and they are listening to our suggestions. They are listening to what we would really like to see this game do. And I look forward to the future to see if they, tinker with the ladder a little bit more, because the ladder is still kind of a problem, but I think they're working on it. They've taken some time. And I get that in this society, we are instant gratification kind of people. We want what we want when we want it, just because of the way social media is, with the way dating apps are and everything else. You have so many things at your fingertips almost immediately. We expect these of our games, and that's kind of a higher expectation that we shouldn't have. The Ludus development team is working very, very hard to make sure that all of us players have a great time in the game, and we can clearly see that with each update. It's slow. It's going to be a climb, but this game is looking to be long-term, not short-term. So we all need to take this ride together and have faith that the Ludus developers are going to do right by us. So, with all that said, we're going to look at our lineup today. Gambler, Little Red, and Draco are my 3 requirements for the Ludus rune hunt. I don't like those 3. I really don't. I don't like the 3 because they're all long range. They're all squishy. It really kind of messes with my perk system setup. So I really only chose Little Red Cap and Gambler instead of all 3. All 3 does okay, but I still feel like I'm wanting somewhere. So instead of running Draco, I'm going to be running Griffin. We have our 2 long rangers. We have 3 close rangers. That's kind of what we want. With Griffin, we have high explosives, bulwark, and soul harvest. This is making him a tanky boy who does a lot of damage. I really like this setup on Griffin. If you want to switch out high explosives for onslaught, by all means do so. But I have onslaught on Kitsune, along with lightning reflexes and deadly swamp. Putting the deadly swamp in there for the tanks and stuff that come at her, as she is deterring them and putting them in her vortex. The deadly swamp is doing damage. Lightning reflexes is making us hit that ability a lot faster. Onslaught is giving us our dodge chance. For Iron Tony, we are going with our quintessential Shield of Faith, Aquavite, Pyromaniac combination, if you so choose. I do at times turn him into an attack tank where I put on Lightning Reactor. I keep Aquavite on there, but you can throw on Day of the Dead now. That is a pretty solid option, especially if you want to have a tanky skeleton that pops up but still is doing quite a bit of damage. Iron Tony's a good spot for that. And then also here for Pyromaniac to combine with Shield of Faith, but you can also do Deathly Missiles. You can do Sharknado, or you can go and do high explosives in this spot too to make him a little bit more aggressive. For Little Red Cap, we're going with Sharknado and Eldritch Horror. Sharknado strictly because she's at 383,000 damage, so having that extra damage output from our damage dealer is pretty sweet. Honestly, I like this on her better than anything else because she is further back. She is giving out that werewolf, so she has a frontline presence and a mid-range presence. Eldritch Horror because I like the fear and the stun that comes off of that. For Gambler, at 204,000 damage, Landmine is not doing the most damage it can possibly do, but it is damaging quite a few. Landmine is a critical piece to have on your lineup, irregardless of what anyone says. I don't know if they changed the percentage here, but they may have. But still, at 246% hero damage, or damage percentage of your hero, it works out relatively well. And then we have Fortification to protect everything else. So that's our lineup. Let's get into a couple of games, see what comes of it. All right, our first fight is against Feral of the Viking Crusaders. I've had a good run today with this after the update. The ladder seems to be a little bit more leaning towards quote-unquote easy and fair fights versus fighting full red lineups. I still run into a few every now and then, but it's looking like it's more of a 30% chance that it's going to hit than a 60 or 70% chance like what it was before. So I am seeing the changes there. The changes are occurring, so we all just need to stay kind of positive about that. It may not be happening in the amount of time that we want it to happen, but it is happening. So that's always a big plus. Now, Feral's lineup is going to be rather difficult to fight against. You know, perk-wise, he is a little low on the bar there. However, the Mako and Tony and Griffin combination could be quite hard to handle. But I say that in full knowledge that once I get landmine set, it's pretty much over. So, if he can outspeed me for the next 5 turns, he's got this. But all we need is one super landmine, tap dead center, right like that, to make this just absolutely disgusting. Alright, we're going to go over to here. Go to here, show that Griffin some love, get Kitsune set up. Lightning Reflexes is active. We are primed and ready to go, my friends. Let's see what comes of it. Ooh, I failed to say this in the introductory video, and I really apologize for that. I'm vastly overwhelmed with a lot of things, so I'm tending to forget quite a few here. But if you're unfamiliar with Gambler, What he does is he shoots the opponents backwards and stuns them for a period of time. I believe it is 2 seconds. He stuns them and then drains them. What Gambler does is he pairs up with Kitsune. Kitsune takes care of the front line with her energy draining ability. Gambler stuns them and drains them when he shoots them backwards. So he works out in multiple levels. He's very, very good. I do appreciate his kit quite a bit. He's a lot of fun. I believe if you go back a little bit, I did have a Gambler video. I want to say I've done one already. So he's been part of my rune hunt requirements a few times, so I've gotten very familiar with him. But as you can tell, once landmine's set, they die. That's just kind of this matchup. And I feel bad about it, but if you don't have landmine on your own team, you're missing out. Landmine is the strongest perk in the game. I will die on that hill. I say this every single time I talk about landmine. It is the strongest ability strongest perk in the game, and nothing will change that unless they nerf it into the ground, which I don't see that happening. What it seems to me is what they're doing with the perk system, instead of nerfing the damage, they're actually increasing the damage and newer perks that come out and everything else to kind of level out the playing field. I relate it really to, if you ever watched The Incredibles, when Syndrome goes and tells Mr. Incredible that he's going to sell all of his things to make everybody super. He says at the end of it, because when everyone's super, no one will be. That's what I kind of look at with Ludus and the perk system, is I think their thought process is the same. Is if all the perks are overpowered, none of them are. So I kind of hope they stick with that, because it's a lot funner to deal with high-powered perks and mechanics in the game than it is to deal with nerfed ones, where you feel like you are just kind of whacking people with pool noodles. Whereas this, you're feeling like you're throwing bomb after bomb after bomb, and it's whoever can sustain is going to be the one that survives. So Gambler's ability restores one ally's energy by 300 over 5 seconds. It's pretty solid. I've seen it change a few things. Griffin is not getting any love this round, but I don't really think Griffin needs the love this round. We pretty much dominated without him, which is always a big plus. If you have certain lineups and stuff like that you question, the best way to know your lineup works is if one card doesn't get supered, you don't falter. Let's look at the damage after all that. Feral got dropped by 55.4 million damage. He only did 18.7. Kitsune was our shining beacon of damage hope this round, and that's what I love to see. Let's go on to fight number 2, see if we can recreate the magic. All right, Black Floyd. Black Floyd is our next opponent. His Griffin is scary. Let's just put it that way. His Griffin is very scary. But that's the reason why I have Griffin, Kitsune, and Iron Tony on this lineup. I have my 3 big damage dealers that I know can handle something like that. If we win, great. If we lose, oh well. Such is life. We're going to go with attack speed increase. It's not the greatest in the world because it is an uncommon, but hey, it's better than nothing. I don't like that there. We're going to drop the little red. There we go. I didn't like that placement. I'd rather drop Little Red knowing I don't like her up there to get something I do like up there, which in this case is Iron Tony. We're going to drop our Griffin over there to make sure that we break another rock, get those bodies out on the field. We want bodies right now. We want to increase our numbers so we can overwhelm a little bit. He is getting really scary there. He got shot backwards from Gambler. That's fantastic. Gambler having the fortification perk really offers up quite a bit of protection. So that's always good. If you are questioning some perks and everything else, I highly recommend you focus the couple of defensive perks, and also if you can and you do have it, really focus fortification. That is Vulcan's perk. It helps out so much. Just so much. I've had multiple games where I was losing really, really bad, and then I got fortification active, and then I started to win those rounds because I was mitigating so much damage. There's also been games where I had Singularity active, got really cocky about winning, and then I moved the Singularity away from everything else, thinking I was doing the right thing, and I lost bad because I moved him out of the way. basically allowed all the damage that was coming at him from everywhere else to just pass its way through. So, something to keep in mind if you're running fortification. Placement is key. We have our Super Griffin over here on the flank, like what we want. He's going to run his little butt all the way over here, which is fine. He is super, super fast. All right, let's see here. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Where there's a will, there's a way. Let's get ourselves some supers. Boom. Iron Tony. Oh, I don't think Iron Tony went super. I think he's tier 3. That's my bad. But we did get Kitsune and Gambler up to super. We have our Griffin just destroying the back line. There we go. Quick, fast, and efficient. All right, we didn't get Super Tony, or we didn't Iron Tony supered, but we are about to now. Boop. And then boop. And he is primed, ready to go. Let's drop our Griffin over here. Kitsune here. Gambler there. Call it good. Got no other reason to continue moving forward. Let's see what you can do, Black Floyd. Boop. I always say boop when the landmine goes off because it makes it funnier for me. I really wish that was the sound effect for landmine, was just a boop. And Muerta's dead. All right, we have taken the lead. We are now 3 hearts to their 2. We're going to, upon killing an enemy, Griffin restores 30% of his HP. That is going to stack on top of the Soul Harvest, which is getting empowered by the high explosives. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, we're going to drop the Kitsunes because we really don't need those. We really need the little red cap right there. All right, so we are 1 step closer to 2 Griffins. We have 2 landmines set. We have our Sharknado ready to go. Little Red is popping out her werewolf. Everything is just dying left, right, and center. Just go down, Black Floyd. Cool. Alrighty. So, we have our final round here. Let's see if we can get our last Griffin. Ask and ye shall receive. There is our other Griffin. There's that. There's that. We're going to drop the Iron Tony. There's another one. Let's go there. Perfect. Now we have 2 fortifications active, which is great. We are mitigating that damage, making sure our little red stays protected as best as humanly possible. Both Griffins are just killing off everything. Look at all of that go. If you could see just how many hits of the Soul Harvest is going on, oh, it's so much fun. Awesome. Black Floyd, thank you for your fight. That was fantastic. All right, he did 65.9 million to our 177 million. Kitsune shining bright like a diamond with her 43.3 million damage. And then Griffin shining brighter with his 46.4 million magic damage. That's pretty fantastic. Iron Tony, as always, shining bright with his health, or with the health regen from Aqua Vitae going off. Let's go into fight number 3. Finish this off the way we need to with a victory. All right, Rafet Al-Hamad. This is a hard pass. We have another game of bye. I can't handle that. I know this for a fact. The reason I know this for a fact, these 2 are not strong enough to fight any of this. And there's too many red perks across here. That's just a super scary evil eye. That's a super scary Moera. I'm just not going to take part in this. It's just not going to happen. That's why. Look at that. Just no. All right. Fight number 3. All right. Redneck Viking. I want to fight you just because of your name. Redneck Viking. This is going to be fight number 3. I can't say no to this. That is just too damn good of a freaking gamer tag. I love it. All right. He's going to be really difficult, and he's probably going to win. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 4 perks. We're going to do the shield for Iron Tony. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 red perks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 legendary perks and 1 epic. I worry about this a little bit. There is a possibility that this will wreck our shop pretty good. But I can't say no to that name. I gotta pass this one. I don't have any good spots left. I probably could have done that differently, popping Little Red over. Probably still could have dropped Little Red over. But really, ultimately, it's just not a good spot for anything. He busted up half his board already. Or over half his board, about 3/4 of his board. He destroyed all of his board, basically. Let's see here. What did he grab? Oh, we both grabbed the same perk. You don't see that too often. Okay, now we can start kind of going off a little bit here. Get our stuff into position. There we go. Fantastic. Bellissima, bellissima. Let's go there. Go there. Ah, crap. I shouldn't have done that. What I should have done was kept Little Red right here while I'm sitting here pumping everything up. But we still have a super, and he doesn't yet, so at least we take this heart. Next turn, he'll have a super. Kind of the nature of the beast. We'll take his heart now. Ooh, no, we won't. He's got stuns for days. Wolfie! Oh, Wolfie almost had it. That Sharknado at max level is really difficult to handle. Yeah, there's not a whole lot I could have done about that. As much as I would have loved to do something about it, there is nothing I could have done. All right, so we're going to go here, here, here. Pump, pump, pump it up. Let's go here, here, get our landmine set. Let's go Kitsune. Drop Little Red, drop Little Red, drop Little Red. Drop Little Red and Gambler. There we go. All right, we got to Kitsune. All right, we have Gambler and Kitsune supered up. Let's see if we can take a heart. All right, let's see if we can make the comeback real. Can we make the comeback real? Now, that Pirate Queen over there is a ticking time bomb. The reason why she's a ticking time bomb, she is already set up to go supered. So that's something to be wary about. Let's see what's on this line. Okay, Hocus Pocus is right there. I'm not going to deal with Hocus Pocus. Little Red, unfortunately, is going to get Hocus Pocus back, but I'm not going to let Griffin get Hocus Pocus because he needs to stay active. Okay, the Mako is going to be an issue. Mako is going to be an issue because he has that 7 seconds of invulnerability from the level 100 armor plating, and that is never fun to deal with. I don't think there's any person that plays this game currently that goes, ooh, max level armor plating, let's have some fun. Nope. Every single person sees it and goes, well, son of a bitch. Yep, he's got us. That control factor right there just ultimately took every little bit of our life. Yep, he's got us. Now, that is to say that if we did get Iron Tony, which I was sacrificing Tonys, I realize where I messed up now. I'm seeing it clear as day. I did stupid. I thought this was supered, and it's not. So we need to get another. Okay, I messed up big, but I got Iron Tony supered anyways. So, yee. All right, let's see where this fight goes. Oh, he's at 53.2 million. We're at 40. Oh, our hells are dropping, but our hells are rising up. Oh. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Oh, he got taken. Yes. Nice. Now, I will attribute some of that to being Gambler. There is too, so we are energy draining like crazy. That's just a deadly combination of perks on Mako. Shield of Faith and max level armor plating. That is just a deadly combination. So, one thing that could have helped us out quite a bit, had I been the foresight to do so, would have been to put Gambler on the right side. So that way we have landmine damage stacking on landmine damage stacking on landmine damage. But we didn't do that. So, yep. That Morbid Charm playing a big role in this. Yep, Morbid Charm helped. They came back to life. We did have them taken, but that Morbid Charm really triggered in their favor. So that's how that went down. Because Mako died twice. I want to point that out. I did see that. Mako died twice, but he came back to life. So Morbid Charm playing a huge effect. If you are an Outlaw fan or you're a big Astro fan, just know this week is your week to shine bright like a diamond because of the fact that it is Morbid Charm week. So let's look at our damage. We did 258.8 million to his 154.6. That was because his armor-plated Mako withstood a lot of damage. What did he have on Iron Tony? Deadly Swamp and Lightning Reactor. I don't think he had any sort of restore health. Oh, enchanting music. No, that doesn't restore health, though. It was just from Morbid Charm. Knock it off. Yeah, it was just from Morbid Charm. That was what kept him active. So, those were 3 amazing fights. I will say this. I had 6 fights total. 4 out of those 6 were easy. 1 was just a definite no, and we saw that. And then we had Redneck Viking, which was a possibility to win. We were coming back. Morbid Charm just played in his favor more than us, so that became more of a challenge. So the ladder is looking a lot better. I hope you like all the perks. Quick disclaimer before I end this video. I've talked a lot about mental health on this channel quite a bit throughout the last year or so that I've been around. The reason the Ludus videos kind of fell off a little bit is I was having real trouble with my own mental health and dealing with some things that I really just needed to deal with on my own. It was very hard to find the motivation to make the videos. That said, I have been seeking my own faith and everything like that, and I'm not projecting that on anybody, but one thing that has helped me out is I've been talking to God a lot recently. Just about anything and everything, really. I'm one of those people that feel like I need to handle all my problems on my own. That if I talk to a family member or a friend, I feel like I'm burdening them with my problems. Because a lot of the times when people care about you, they want to help you. They want to fix your problems for you. And if you're in a spot where I'm at, where I just don't want people to fix my problems, I want to fix them myself, then you tend to push them all away, and you just get nasty towards them because they're trying very hard to help, but you look at them as an enemy. You don't look at them as an ally. And that's something I've been dealing with a lot lately. But since I started looking into my own faith and looking towards God and everything, it's helped out quite a bit. I've seen a change in myself and in the way I treat people, and it's coming across in a way that I want to. So I want to treat people with kindness and respect. I want to treat the world with love. And ultimately, that's my goal. That's what I'm going to do. And whether I wind up being a doormat for people who don't see that and just want their own personal gain, then it is what it is. But if you're anything like me and you are struggling with your mental health, please talk to somebody. Whether if you want to talk to a therapist to find answers, talk to a therapist, talk to a psychiatrist, talk to your family and friends. If you are in a position where you feel like talking to someone is going to burden them, I invite you to look to God and just talk. You don't need to ask for anything. You don't need to apologize for anything. Really, it's just talking, getting it out. Even if you feel like you're not receiving an answer, getting it out and talking about it and getting it open, even to yourself, can open some doors where you see a solution to fix. Not necessarily like completely fix it, but change some things to put you on the path that you want to. So I invite you to talk about these things. This is the month of December. Christmas is upon us. We are looking at 1 week from, a week and a day from the release of this video. Christmas hits. And Christmas is a merry time of the year where we share love, kindness, and respect to each other. But it's also super, super stressful. And it also really intensifies the loneliness in people. So please don't stay quiet. Please talk. And I hope things work out. So with all that said, I'm going to leave you the same way I always do. Life can be fun if you allow it to be. We'll see you next time.